Well, hey guys, this is Elliot, Rico Dad here. So I did finally receive the Khronos Lite package from Tilta, and it looks pretty good so far. I have here the case, magnetic filters, 17mm thread lens adapter, T-series mount lens adapter, 58mm filter tray, and the magnetic 58mm filter itself. But you'll notice there are actually two important things that are missing. I do have the case, but I don't have the grip. And I checked, because it is actually kind of a thing that I do, like I'd order and maybe forget something, but I actually did order the grip. I'm also missing the filter tray that would connect this magnetic filter to the case itself. So I actually cannot test out the magnetic filter or the grip, which is unfortunate because that was kind of the big thing for a lot of you people. For me, it's actually more the ND filter, but I know that there's a lot of excitement around the grip just because there's a lot of functionality. Maybe I'll just try it out. Start with the case, obviously. Let's open this up. Looks like a screen protector and some stickers. There's the case itself. So this case actually feels quite robust. The corners and sides are quite thick, actually quite thicker than I used to, but not in a way that's overly bulky. It actually kind of reminds me of the Polar Pro case that I had a couple of years ago. Not the fitment, but the materials. It feels quite similar. Okay, this is not bad. It's not a bulky case at all. Whoops. So you got pretty good access to the power switch. You've got a pretty good cutout for the camera control. You've got padded corners here. They look pretty well protected actually. And you've got actual buttons. If I had the grip, I could show you it attached, but I can't do that right now. There is a bit of a lip here, so that's good. Keeps it pretty safe. I actually do quite like this case, I will say. Maybe I can show you the stand legs. Okay, so that comes out. Yeah. And it's a pretty good stand, pretty solid. Goes into landscape too. Okay, it's actually a pretty good everyday case, I'd say. I would actually like using this day to day. It's not too big, pretty protected. I wouldn't say it's overly grippy. The Moment lens case that I had last year was actually grippier than this. Oh, someone did ask me, can I check my MagSafe? Does it charge? I know that this MagSafe, this anchor, worked this afternoon. So why don't we see if it works here? So first of all, yep, connects very well. And it worked. It's charging. It's charging at the top there. So there you go. MagSafe batteries do work. I'm going to try this T-series mount lens adapter here of the macro lens that I have. I actually messed up the video, so I'm just going to re-show it here. This is the phone. This is the T-series lens mount. You'll see that there's a spacer that I had to stick on and it's kind of warped now. That's because when you twist the T-mount lens in, it actually pushed the spacer around a bit. And so it still works. And it did actually kind of scrape off a bit of the paint on the back, but that aside, it actually works pretty well. My macro lens took some pretty good videos. So you literally just stick it up here, line it up, and then push down and you're done. Like that is really all it is. Like you take this macro lens and you line it up with the holes. And there you go, it works. So it actually worked pretty well. You don't need the spacer if you're just using, I think, photo gear, non-Moment lenses, but this is a Moment lens and I needed the spacer to make it work. And it feels pretty solid in there. Pretty happy with the way that the photos have come out so far. So stay tuned for the full video and I'll go into it in a bit more detail, but it does work. I was generally happy with it. The spacer is a little bit tricky to get and you get 3 of these guys, but look, this first one's already kind of warped. If you can see, like it doesn't affect the actual usage of it, but it doesn't look that great. Push came to shove, I'm sure you can either get more or make your own. Yeah, anyway, so back to the main video. I don't have a 17mm lens yet. There's actually one I'm looking into on Amazon. It's the newer LS79. It kind of looks like it's a competitor for the Reflex 240mm telephoto lens that gives you that super zoom and those two kind of macro attachments. So I was thinking of trying that out, and if you're interested in that, let me know. Maybe put that in the comment there so I know that that is a good idea for me to look into, because I was looking at that for a while. I did see some other videos where it did show that the Reflex lens does still have a step up over this, so I'd be interested to know if the newer lens actually does that. But I'd like to try on the filter because that's actually what the name of the game is today. So here it is. Here's the magnetic filter. So let's follow exactly the same thing. And now it's on. So it juts out a little bit. You all saw that from the photo, so that shouldn't be a surprise for any of you. But that's what it looks like in space gray on a black case. It's obviously not as slim as the Moment solution. All right, so let's put on this filter and see what happens. Comes with a little case here, and this is a ND225, which is essentially what I also used for the Moment solution as well. Oh, wow. That went on really fast. That's a lot faster than I thought it would be. The quick lock actually goes on really fast too, but this is really fast, I will say. I would actually just put this into the case and leave in my pocket and kind of walk around like this, and then it literally takes no time. It just snaps on. I've never used magnetic filters before, so I'm actually pretty part of this is actually excitement around the filter. But oh, I see. So you are supposed to have these two slots here. Yeah, now it's in. Okay, so now it's proper. There is a little bit of flaring on the top left there. It is very compact and small. I do think it is what I thought it would be in terms of the profile of it. Of course, I'm missing the grip, which was the whole thing for some people. But I'm going to test this out and let you guys know what I think. I actually do quite like the way this looks so far. So let's try to pull this off here. So push down. So you got this part out. Oh, that came out super easily. I do quite like it. Connects back on pretty easily. It's low profile enough that I could stick this into my pocket and really it wouldn't be too problematic. If I'm wearing a vest or a jacket or something like that, it's going to be no problem. But if I'm wearing tight jeans, this is obviously going to stick out a little bit. So, okay, so I'm going to just go through some of these videos to end off this video. I'm just walking through downtown and took some videos. These are just samples. I wouldn't put too much stock in them just yet because it was a bit of an awkward handheld situation. I didn't have a whole lot of time to really get away and do proper image comparison or video comparison, but I thought this might give you a sample, at least the clarity of the ND filter, which I think is actually quite good. You'll notice there's a little bit of the flaring again. I have noticed this with other ND filters, and at the end of the day, I do recall this is a $30 filter, so there's going to be some compromises that have to be made. This video in particular here, I wanted to show that this is actually without the ND filter, the specific one, to show that, it's starting to look golden, but it's actually because of the time of the day. It's not a color cast issue so far as what you're seeing today. I will test that a bit more when I do the actual review. So anyway, then I moved to a different day, and this is Saturday morning. It was a cloudy, overcast day. In general, the colors are a bit more neutral, so I thought that some of this was good. And this is my dog here, Bear. Just taking a video. I did do the proper exposure, but hey, whoa, 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 okay, zoom. Okay, no, don't look at him. This, you can really see it was pretty clear still. So I'm pretty happy with the fact that I'm not compromising image quality to use these ND filters here. Another video of him, exposure was a bit better. Yeah, he does need a groom. Sorry about that. That's kind of it for this video. So stay tuned in the next few weeks. I'm going to have a full review up. Hopefully I'll get those two remaining items pretty soon, and then I can include that as part of the video. I know that a lot of you are very interested in the grip. That's it. Hope you have a good one, and talk to you later. Bye.